What you're about to hear will make your blood run hot. What you're about to learn will shake everything you believed about professional wrestling. And what Triple H just pulled off at Royal Rumble 2026 might be the single most shameful, scheming, career-crushing choice in WWE history. I'm talking about dishonesty at the top level. I'm talking about playing favorites so obvious it disrespects every single fan who paid their hard-earned cash to see what should have been the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. And I'm talking about LA Knight, your champion, our voice, being pushed to his knees in the most embarrassing show of corporate control we've ever seen. Hello, viewers. If you're new here, please don't forget to like and hit the subscribe button for daily updates on WWE Raw. Let me bring you back to January 25th, 2026. Lucas Oil Stadium, Indianapolis, Indiana, the Royal Rumble. 40,000 fans crowded into that arena with one shared dream, watching LA Knight finally get his moment. Watching the People's Champion stand proud his number 30 entered the ring, point to that WrestleMania sign, and lock in his legacy as the man who would take down whoever held that title. For months, no years, we've watched LA Knight work. We've watched him connect with crowds in a way that maybe only a few superstars in history have managed to pull off. The chants, the catchphrases, the real wave of support that no amount of corporate branding could create. He wasn't picked by the office. He was picked by us, by the people. And Triple H knew it. Everyone in that locker room knew it. The entire wrestling world knew that LA Knight's time had arrived. But here's where it gets wild. Here's where the pieces start coming together in the most twisted way possible. Because while we were all focused on Knight's sure thing victory, while we were all believing in the fairy tale that hard work and fan support still count in this business, Triple H was setting up something completely different. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, the man who already held the title for over 1,300 days, the man who's been placed as the face of WWE for nearly 10 years, the corporate golden boy who, despite losing the belt, despite supposedly being humbled, was being set up for yet another run at the top. And you know what the worst part is? We should have seen it coming. The match started exactly as you think. Big names, big eliminations, moments made to excite the crowd. Gunther looked powerful early. Cody Rhodes entered to a huge reaction at number 7, reminding everyone he still matters in this conversation. Seth Rollins, always the hard worker, put in another great performance. But then entry number 21 hit, and the entire feeling changed. That tribal music hit. The crowd exploded. Some in cheers, many in boos, but everyone knowing what Roman Reigns entering this match meant. And watch his face as he walks down that ramp. That's not the face of a desperate man trying to get back lost glory. That's the face of someone who already knows how this story ends. Roman enters and right away starts clearing house. 3 eliminations in 4 minutes. He's going after everyone. Good guys, bad guys, it doesn't matter. He's there with a purpose, with a mission, and everyone else is just in the way. Classic Roman Reigns booking, you might say. The same booking that shaped WWE for most of a decade. Entry number 27, LA Knight. The place explodes, and I mean absolutely goes wild. Listen to that crowd reaction. That's not fake audio. That's not production tricks. That's pure, real, natural fan passion. 40,000 people on their feet screaming yeah at the top of their lungs because their guy just entered the match. And Knight doesn't let them down. He right away goes after Randy Orton, eliminating him in a shocking moment that sent social media into a frenzy. Then he eliminates Austin Theory, then Bronson Reed. LA Knight is on fire, and you can feel the energy building toward that sure thing final showdown. The clock counts down. 10, 9, 8. The waiting is crushing. 7, 6, 5. Everyone in that building knows what's about to happen. 4, 3, 2, 1. Entry number 30, CM Punk. Smart move, clever. The perfect opponent for both Roman and Knight. The crowd is split, but everyone's locked in. This is wrestling storytelling at its best. 3 generations, 3 different styles, 3 different relationships with the crowd, all crashing together in one ring with a WrestleMania main event on the line. The final 4 comes down to Roman Reigns, LA Knight, CM Punk, and Drew McIntyre. And for about 8 minutes, we get absolute magic. These 4 men are beating the hell out of each other. Close calls everywhere, near eliminations that have the crowd gasping. This is what the Royal Rumble is supposed to be. Drew McIntyre gets eliminated by CM Punk in a moment that's definitely going to lead to something at Elimination Chamber. That's fine. That makes sense. We're down to 3. And then it happens. CM Punk and LA Knight are working together, an uneasy team-up built on their shared desire to keep Roman from winning. They're battering the tribal chief, throwing everything they have at him. He hits the GTS. Knight follows with a BFT. Roman is out. He's done. Both men grab his legs, one on each side, ready to toss him over that top rope and end this story the way it should end. But Roman's got his hand wrapped around the bottom rope. The referee is screaming at him to let go. Punk and Knight are pulling with everything they have. And then, I need you to pay close attention to this, because this is where everything goes wrong. Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga show at their ringside.
No music, no announcement, just two members of the Bloodline, who had both been eliminated earlier, running back down to ringside in clear breaking of Royal Rumble rules. The referees are trying to stop them, but here's the thing, they're not interfering in the ring, they're just causing trouble outside the ring. And in that moment of distraction, in those key 5 seconds where every official's attention is pulled away, Roman low blows both CM Punk and LA Knight. You didn't see it on the main camera, you had to be watching the hard camera angle, but it happened. Roman Reigns cheated, plain and simple, and because the distraction was so perfectly timed, nobody in an official role saw it. Roman dumped CM Punk over the top rope. The crowd is in shock. It's down to 2. Roman Reigns versus LA Knight. This is it. This is the moment. One more elimination and we get the WrestleMania main event we deserve. They're trading blows center ring. Knight is fighting from the heart, from the soul, channeling every bit of frustration from every wrestler who was told they weren't big enough, weren't the right look, weren't what the company wanted. He hits Roman with a clothesline that nearly takes his head off. Roman staggers against the ropes, charges. This is it. This is his moment. And then you see it. Triple H appears at the top of the ramp, not to make an announcement, not to address the Bloodline interference, just standing there, watching, making his presence known at the most important moment of the match. LA Knight hesitates. For just a split second, he glances up at the man who controls his future, the man who books the shows, the man who decides who gets chances and who gets buried. 1 split second. That's all Roman needs. Superman punch, spear, and in one smooth motion, Roman Reigns dumps LA Knight over the top rope and wins the 2026 Royal Rumble. The crowd is in total disbelief. The boos are deafening. Trash is being thrown into the ring, and I'm not talking about a few cups, I'm talking about real fan anger showing itself in physical form. This is similar to the Roman Reigns Royal Rumble reactions of 2015, except somehow worse, because we all thought those days were behind us. Roman's music hits. He's celebrating like he just accomplished something earned, something real. The Bloodline rushes the ring to lift him on their shoulders. It's a coronation. It's exactly what we've seen 100 times before, and that's exactly the problem. But here's where it gets totally disgusting. Triple H walks down that ramp, microphone in hand, with a smile on his face that makes my stomach turn. He enters the ring and you think maybe, just maybe, he's about to address the controversy. Maybe he's going to announce that due to the Bloodline's interference, the decision is being reversed. Maybe there's going to be some accountability, some justice, some recognition that what we all just witnessed was a joke. Instead, he raises Roman's hand. He calls Roman the winner. He congratulates him. He makes the entire corrupt proceeding with his presence and his words. And then he does something even more unforgivable. He calls LA Knight back to the ring. Knight, confused, frustrated, but still playing the corporate game because he has to, walks back up that ramp and enters the ring. He's standing there in front of 40,000 people who were chanting his name 10 minutes ago, facing the man who just stole his moment and the corporate authority figure who let it happen. And Triple H delivers a promo that will go down as one of the most insulting, talking down speeches in WWE history. He talks about earning your spot. He talks about the right person for the right moment. He talks about how Roman Reigns represents what WWE stands for, and how his WrestleMania main event against whoever the champion is, probably Cody Rhodes in a rematch we've already seen, is going to be best for business. That phrase, best for business, the same phrase we've heard used to justify every unpopular decision, every creative turn away from what fans want, every time the office decides it knows better than the audience paying the bills. And then Triple H looks at LA Knight and says the quiet part out loud. You're a star, Knight. You're over. The people love you. But this moment, this WrestleMania, this isn't your time. Maybe next year, maybe the year after. But right now, if you want to stay a top guy in this company, if you want those chances to keep coming, you need to understand how things work around here. It's not directly stated. Triple H is too smart for that. But the message is crystal clear. Fall in line or face the consequences. And then he extends his hand to LA Knight, not for a handshake, for something far worse. Show these people, Triple H says, that you're a team player. Show them that you understand the bigger picture. Show them that you're willing to do what needs to be done for the good of WWE. The crowd is chanting, no, no, no. They know what's coming. We all know what's coming. This is a public humiliation disguised as corporate professionalism. LA Knight looks at that hand. You can see the thinking happening behind his eyes. You can see the internal struggle. Every fiber of his being wants to tell Triple H exactly where he can shove that hand. Every instinct he has as a performer, as a man who built himself from nothing, is screaming at him to walk away, to keep his dignity, to stand up for himself and for the fans who believe in him. But he also knows the reality. He knows that defying Triple H in that moment means burial. It means being taken off television. It means losing everything he's worked for. It means watching younger, hungrier guys get the chances that should be his. He's seen it happen to too many others who dared to challenge the authority. So LA Knight does the unthinkable. He drops to one knee. He bows his head to Triple H, showing his obedience to the corporate machine. He shakes Triple H's hand while kneeling, in a visual that's going to be replayed for years as the moment LA Knight's soul left his body. The moment the people's champion became just another company guy. The moment the rebellion was crushed under the weight of corporate interests. The crowd is totally nuclear. The boos are deafening that Roman's music can barely be heard over them. Fans are leaving, not just a few, hundreds of them heading for the exits in protest, refusing to watch any more of this travesty. And Triple H, he's smiling. Roman's smiling. The Bloodline is smiling. They've won, not just the match, but the war. They've broken LA Knight's spirit in front of the world, and they've sent a message to every other superstar in that locker room. This is what happens when you get too popular without our permission. This is what happens when you think the fan support matters more than the office's approval. Let's talk about what this means going forward, because the effects of what happened at Royal Rumble 2026 are going to echo through WWE for years. First, Roman Reigns is now headed to his 5th WrestleMania main event in the last 6 years. Think about that, 5 main events. Meanwhile, incredible talents like LA Knight, Gunther for crying out loud, possibly the best wrestler in the world right now, are being shuffled into mid-card programs or secondary matches because Roman needs to occupy that top spot forever. The predictability is suffocating. We all know Roman is winning that title back at WrestleMania. We all know we're getting Roman versus Cody Rhodes 3, or Roman versus whoever in a match we've already seen or can predict beat for beat. There's no suspense, no mystery, no reason to be emotionally invested because we know how this story ends. We've known for years how this story ends. Roman wins, the bloodline stands tall. Triple H pats himself on the back for long-term storytelling, and the fans who wanted something different, something fresh, something earned rather than handed down from above, are told to sit down, shut up, and accept what we're given. Second, LA Knight's character is basically damaged. How does he recover from this? How does he look fans in the eye and tell them to believe in him when he couldn't even believe in himself enough to stand up in the most important moment of his career? I've seen people online trying to justify it. It's a slow burn, they say. He's playing the long game, they rationalize. He'll get his revenge eventually, they hope. But here's the truth. How many times have we heard this before?